I was once told that everyone's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, that fish will go its entire life thinking it's stupid. I was once that fish. Growing up in a family of 15 where education was never talked about, education was not valued. No one ever made it past the 9th grade, let alone out of high school. I was deemed slow, I was deemed stupid. A guidance counselor once even said I was mentally deficient when she asked me, what do I want to do in my life? And I said, I work in pizza shops. I want to own a restaurant one day. She laughed at me. She says, I don't think that's possible, Greg. I think you should more look at joining the service or working a factory job. And neither of those two are bad. They just weren't what I wanted to do. So after high school, I remember listening to that teacher. I had so much low self-esteem. I worked at warehouse jobs. I worked security guard. And I was just trying to survive. But I thought, what is my future going to be like? But then I started noticing how other countries were teaching. I don't think in America we teach to learn. I think we teach to take tests and to memorize. If we look at schools like in Finland, Finland is the top of the list every single year. And you know what they do? They teach personal development. They teach character building. They teach integrity. And what do we have in high schools in America? We have homework, right? In Finland, there's 0 homework. From kindergarten to the time you graduate, 0. How many tests do we take, right? You're always taking tests, always. In Finland, 1 test your entire senior year. How is it that they do that? And I believe we need to adopt that because I don't believe any kid is stupid. I believe that every kid is one caring adult away from success. I truly believe that. And in 1988, someone believed in me. And that man changed my life forever. I worked 3 jobs. My wife and I got married early. We had a child. I was working 2 full-time jobs, 1 in a day at a factory and a glass company at night. My 3rd job on the weekend was working at the world's largest fast food chain, making sandwiches. I loved making sandwiches. I loved making food. But I remember when that teacher said, Greg, you're not smart enough to own a business, right? And this next guy changed my life. My life is never the same. What did he do? After 8 months of working for him, he fired me. Yes, he fired me, but in a good way. This man fired me because I wanted to be assistant manager for him. And when him and his wife fired me, he said, Greg, you cannot be a manager for us. We need you to take the next step. And I said, what's the next step? We need you to become an owner for yourself. And I thought, owner? How is that possible? I ain't got no money. He said, I'm going to finance you. I'm going to be your bank. How does that even work? He said, young man, how much money do you have right now? I said, we have $1,200. I put my head down when I said, that's more like $1,200. But when you think about it, in 2023, they just did a study. 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 saved for emergency fund. So I was kind of like Bill Gates back then, right? With my $1,200. He said, young man, if you get in there and work like you do your 2 full-time job and you work for us, you will never have to worry about buying diapers for that baby girl. In fact, Greg, you will pass us up. You will be more successful than my wife and I ever thought we could be. I thought, is this guy high on something? Because he's talking about me. But he was right. I got in that store. He financed me for 15 years at a low rate. I took that store from the worst store in Ohio to one of the top stores in Ohio. And you know when you make someone money, what do they want to do? They want you to open more. So I opened up another one. I opened up another one. And actually I slept. I slept in that first store basically for 3.5 years. From open to close. I only left an hour a day to shower and see my baby girl because I had no other option but to succeed in my life. And then I went on after that with a business partner, my friend Mohammed, who's here now, right? I was offered to open up restaurants, taco burrito chains. With my brother Mohammed, myself, and some other men and women, we opened taco burrito chains all across the country, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and Canada. My brother and I, we was called the Burrito Brothers. Yes, and we were. And how did I do all these things, barely graduating with a 1.9 grade point average? It's my 3 keys to my success, and I believe it's your 3 keys to your success. And what is it? It's DGH. Now, we know what the GPA is, right? Grade point average. My DGH stands, let's start with the D, right? The dream. What is the dream? It's 2 bicycle salesmen in Dayton, Ohio that believe we could fly like birds one day. People called them crazy, right? We're not crazy. They're not crazy anymore. What about Elon Musk that believes that we can go to Mars and order Pizza Hut, right? Is that crazy? We think so, but one time we thought we couldn't walk on the moon, and now we put 12 men on that moon, and we're going to take people there. And the next step is number 2, the G, the grind. What is the grind? It's where you work 3 jobs if you have to buy diapers. It's doing what you got to do to survive. If you can do those 2 things, then you put that last, right? That H. What is the H? That's the hustle. That's the hustle. That's where you give it everything you've got. You don't have an ounce left on a field, wherever you're at. You know that you got to do it. You know when you're squeezing orange juice with your buddy early in the morning, right? And he sets this to the side, and he's got a little bit left. You grab that orange and you squeeze it because you got to get every little ounce out of that. That's the hustle. And the day before you die, you smile at your family because you know you became a better husband, a better wife, a better teacher, a better business person because you hustled. And I'm telling you, anything is possible when you can learn dream, grind, hustle. And are these merely words? No. Dream, grind, hustle is a mindset. Dream, grind, hustle is a lifestyle. And when you adopt that, I guarantee you, you can have almost anything in life that you want. Another man changed my life at age 49 in 2015. He said, Greg, I want you to join this group called Toastmasters because I was very shy. I stand before you at 57. I've been married over 35 years. I never asked my wife to marry me. Not to marry, I gave her sister the ring. She asked for me. And this man named Les Brown asked me to join Toastmasters. I thought, this isn't for me. I don't speak. But he saw something in me that I did not see in myself. He believed I had something. So I joined this group called Toastmasters. They were very kind to me. And Toastmasters is kind of a strange thing. They clap. You can do anything. You can sit there and pee your pants and they'll clap and they'll say, good job, good job. And to me, that was everything. So within 5 months of joining Toastmasters, and they're training me and teaching me, I went to the World Championship of Public Speaking. And I knocked it out of the park. Did I win? No, I didn't win. But I did win in life. I won in life because that sent me from Zambia, Africa to Israel, to Detroit, to LA, back to Columbus, Ohio. And I learned 2 different things there. Some lady came up to me and said, Greg, you need to give a TED Talk. A TED Talk? I said, who's this dude Ted you want me to talk to? She laughed and said, it's not a guy, it's an organization, it's a talk where you share your ideas. And I think your Dream, Grind, Hustle is a great idea to teach people. Okay, so after watching millions of TED Talks, I thought, this ain't for me. These are academia people. This is a 12-year-old girl that got her double master's degree, right, from India at Michigan State University. That's not me. But after talking me into it, I applied, and I got it. March 22nd, 2020, New Albany, Ohio. I was excited. What happened in March 2020? Anyone know? This little thing called COVID-19, right? So that got canceled there. So everyone else was trying to push me and say, Greg, you got to keep trying, you got to keep trying. I did. I applied for more, got it in 2022. We're bringing back TEDx. I get it again. I'm sorry, but we're postponing it. Are you kidding me? But I kept the faith. I kept it that I was going to do it. 2023, we got the notice they're bringing TEDx back in New Albany. They invited me back. This is it. This is my time to shine. This is my time to teach people the Dream, Grind, Hustle method. Something else came out of that World Championship Public Speaking. I did not win, but Mr. Les Brown says, young man, you need to put your story in a book. Ain't no one going to read my books. Plus, I don't read books. If it's good enough, they'll make it a movie. I don't read. Les Brown was right. With the help of one of his friends, she helped me write my book. And today, I'm an international #1 best-selling author, doing book signings all across the country and in Canada. My book sold in Japan, Ethiopia, wherever you can name, my book is there. And once again, I used the Dream, Grind, Hustle method to get it there, right? You don't have to be that smart to write a book. You can find someone like Les Brown gave me called a ghostwriter. right? I don't have to be good at math. I have a CPA. So when you use the dream, grind, hustle method, there is nothing that you cannot do. Another person that changed my life, while I was speaking, a guy came up and says, Greg, I own a university in Dublin, Ohio. It's called Transcontinental University. And with your story, with what you've done in your life, you should have a degree. And me and my staff, we want to give you an honorary doctorate degree of business. Months went by. I get an email, hey, Greg, call me, whatever. I'm like, who's this dude? Wiped it out. Another staff member called and said, when do you want to have your graduation? Graduation for what? For your honorary doctorate degree of business. Are you kidding me? So I got my honorary doctorate degree of business from Transcontinental University in Dublin, Ohio, age 56. And how did I do that? Not by my GPA, right? Not by my academics. How did I get it? You guessed it, my dream, grind, hustle. That's how I got it. And you know, I truly believe that with kind words of encouragement, that you can change anyone's destiny. So I'd like to give some kind, encouraging words to you. You are more than any grades that you've ever got. Your grades do not have to define you. You have more potential, you have more gifts and talents that you don't know you have, but when you do have them, your life will change. You will have a life that you never thought was possible. And I promise you this, if you can dream for it, if you can grind for it, if you can hustle for it, I promise you can have it. Thank you.